All right, guys. What if I told you the biggest performance enhancer in your entire routine isn't your pre-workout? It's not your macros. It's not even your training split. Something actually a bit more basic. It's your sleep. I know is not the most sexy talked about or the most exciting thing. It's not a new supplement, but it's really sleep that is where you're going to see the real gains over time. So today I'm going to be breaking down exactly how sleep affects your strength, your recovery, hormones, even your physique, with some surprising insights that might change how you approach your entire routine. So let's zoom out first for a second and take a look. So when we sleep, our bodies are going through cycles and they're going through kind of different stages inside the sleep cycle. And each one plays a very crucial role. First part we have is our deep sleep. And this is kind of where the magic starts. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone. And we know that growth hormone is one of the most important hormones for repairing muscle tissue and triggering protein synthesis. So basically supporting your body to stay anabolic. That comes from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. And the next thing is that when you, next part of sleep is you go into REM sleep. And during this stage, your brain is basically balancing out the hormones. So when your nervous system resets, your brain locks into kind of a certain motor pattern from training. And from that, your testosterone is going to get a boost. So together, these sleep phases aren't really just rest. It's going to be literally rebuilding and supporting your strength. So you'll be better set for gym performance and making sure that you have kind of peak energy levels the following day. So what happens when you don't sleep or you skip sleeping? So let's kind of look at the other side of the coin here. When you don't get enough sleep, let's say you're pulling a few late nights with work, or you just whatever reason you're only getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep here and there, and it doesn't feel like a big change, but even 1 week of restricted sleep can mess up your performance in ways a lot of people don't realize. For example, a study from the European Journal of Applied Psychology back in 2007 showed that you can lose up to 30% of your maximum power output simply from sleep deprivation. And another study from sports medicine showed that your ATP production, which is kind of like your key energy source in your cells, it drops when your body is basically running out of cellular energy currency. You fatigue way faster during your workouts. So if you're not getting enough sleep, your ATP will drop, and thus kind of like your fatigue happens way faster. A study from Journal of Neuroscience showed that your reaction time slows down, which means your ability to focus is going to tank, and that's going to increase your risk of injury. And another frustrating thing is that protein synthesis can drop as much as 40% when you're sleep deprived. 40%. That means your body isn't effectively building new muscle, and that's from the Journal of American Journal of Psychology. So if you don't sleep, it really will mess you up in more ways than one. And so if you're going to be hitting the gym and training your ass off by not sleeping well, you're basically doing yourself a major disservice. You're taxing the system without letting it recover, which means you're going to be quickly ushering in plateaus and injuries and just kind of a poor state of mental well-being. So let's look at the hormonal drawbacks or the fallout here. So beyond strength and recovery, your lack of sleep or poor sleep can literally just wreck your hormones. So a study from GAMA in 2011 mentioned that poor sleep, even for just 1 week, can drop your testosterone levels by 10 to 15%. And at the same time, kind of the flip side, your cortisol is going to spike, and that's your stress hormone. So cortisol is what tells your body to hold on to fat and stay inflamed. So it's like driving one foot on the gas and the other on the brakes, right? By training hard and not getting enough sleep. Um, and it also can increase, you know, insulin resistance, which means your body doesn't process carbs as efficiently. So you're getting kind of these energy crashes. You got cravings and slower nutrient delivery, which is not optimal at all if you're training. And that comes from the Lancet journal. So first of all, is really you have a motor pathway, which is basically the switch that controls muscle growth, and it becomes less responsive with less sleep. So it's going to be blunted, so to speak, with chronic stress and poor sleep. So this whole combo is what I would call very much a hormonal nightmare. You're still training, you're still eating right, but your body's internal systems are working against you. So let's look at ideally how much sleep do you need? Practically, what should you be aiming for? I would say for most everyone, it's around 7 to 9 hours a night, depending on how hard you're training. You're probably going to need heavier training protocols. You probably want about 9 hours of sleep. And there's studies on this. One of them in particular that mentioned the 7 to 9 hours is around the International Journal of Sports Physiology and Performance. It just said that elite athletes perform a lot better when they get more than 8 hours of sleep a night. You sleep in 90-minute cycles. So like that's basically how your body completes the deep sleep and REM rotation. So if possible, shoot for like a 10 p.m. bedtime. That's going to align with your own, circadian rhythm. And that's of course going to help optimize your testosterone and your growth hormone release during that sleep process. Next, let's look at signs that your sleep is holding you back. How do you know if you're not getting enough sleep? So here's a few things that you can take note of if you feel like your progress is getting sabotaged in one way or another. First off, is that you've hit a performance plateau. You're training consistently, you're training hard, but nothing's improving. Second, you might feel moody or irritable during your workouts. Uh, Third, you have strong cravings for sugar or junk food, even when you're not, on a hard diet. And fourth thing is that you might feel sore for more than 3 days after training. That delayed recovery could be a sign basically your body isn't rebuilding or repairing itself properly. So these are some classic markers that if this does creep into your day to day, definitely take an audit on what your sleep is looking like and try to fit in that missing piece. And so how do you improve your sleep? How do you have better sleep? Again, you have your 90-minute wind down approach. So typically before you go to bed, take about an hour and a half to get out of in front of screens or anything that really stimulates the brain. So no screens, dim the lights, maybe take a warm shower. You want to signal to your body that it's time to shut down and get ready to sleep. There's been studies that show how cooler rooms, like when you run the AC around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, roughly 18 degrees Celsius, is beneficial. Like blackout curtains as well. If you need like white noise, basically things that can encourage your body to sleep better. I know most of us, or many of us, are over caffeinated, so try to cut out your caffeine by no later than 2 p.m. And of course, this depends on how sensitive you are to caffeine and coffee. But ideally, you want to save your pre-workouts to kind of the morning time. And these little changes, they are small, but they can add up fast. And learning to sleep, funny enough, it's kind of like a skill that you have to improve at over time. And just like anything, you can improve it. You can train how well you sleep. So keep in mind what you're doing now, and if there's ways to improve it, try your best. So supplements that could also be of help to you. We'll look at a few here. You can say some of the foundational supplements like magnesium glycinate, anywhere from 300 to 400 milligrams. It's going to help you relax a bit better, going to basically let your nervous system go into more of a recovery mode. They have something out there called tart cherry extract, and it's a natural anti-inflammatory, and it also has a little bit of melatonin inside there, which is great for sleep. Glycine, around 3 grams, you could take. It's an amino acid that also supports sleep quality. And of course, if you want to go into kind of the deeper side of supplements, you definitely have melatonin. But a lot of people get hooked on melatonin because it can put you into a deeper state of sleep. But I would suggest start low with zero point 0.3 milligrams, not the standard 3 to 5 milligram doses that most people take and that are typical doses on prescribed melatonin that you buy. So of course you want to start slow and see what the minimum effective dose is for you. Another supplement is called GABA, GABA, and about 100 milligrams is great to help basically relax your brain, slow it down a little bit, so it'll be easier to go to sleep. And then you have 5-HTP, which standard dose is around 50 milligrams, and that can help support serotonin and REM sleep, right? So of course, I know we talked on other videos, but there's some great tools out there for tracking sleep. One is called the Aura Ring. It's a little bit spendy, but it does really well at tracking quite accurately the quality of your sleep. Another one that I've noted in another video is the Whoop strap, and also gives recovery and kind of strain data to see how much stress your body is undergoing, etc. And so let's look again at why this matters. So I'll kind of leave you with this. When you sleep, your body is, you could think of it as doing the heavy lifting for you. So 70% of your daily growth hormone is released during deep sleep. That's from the Journal of Clinical Investigation. I know that there's been a lot of studies on this, but basically majority of your growth hormones happens when you're in deep sleep. So you want to try to ensure that you're getting enough sleep from night to night. Your brain consolidates motor skills as another thing to note. So your form, your technique, your mental sharpness during sleep, it actually will improve. Your immune system also gets a boost up to 60%, reducing injury risk and speeding up tissue repair. That's from Sleep Journal. And so, from just improving your sleep quality, you can lift more, you're going to grow more, you're going to recover better. And again, it's not because you're doing more of anything, it's basically because you're sleeping better. So, yeah, so if you're really serious about your performance as an athlete, you're going to have to improve your mindset from not just thinking about training in the gym and training like a beast when you step into the gym, but you need to sleep like an elite athlete as well, right? So if this video is helpful, definitely hit the like button, subscribe, and love to hear your thoughts and your comments and maybe your favorite sleep hack that you're implementing. So I'll leave you with that. Sleep hard, train harder, and see you in the next video.